Hi, this is Chef Chris from S.C. Johnson Sam's. I'd like to introduce a video by Chef Nico, doing a rack of lamb. Enjoy.
Hello everybody, Chef Nico here again, and today we'll be preparing roasted rack of lamb. Let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, here is your rack of lamb. Now normally there is a flap of fat that covers right over here. It looks like it is partially Frenched already. Now Frenching means normally these are completely wet, the webbing's completely filled with tendons and whatnot, so they partially French them. The proper way to French them though is to completely take off the fat from the bones. So what I like to do normally is I like to leave some of my fat, for reason being, for me at least, a lot of flavor comes from fat, especially when there's a cap there and you score it nicely and have all those herbs in there, and once it starts to roast in the oven, all that beauty, all that flavor just goes straight into the meats, and that's really what you're looking at. But if you were to properly French it, you want to get in there, so you can see, right in there. And then what you're going to want to do, and you got to watch your hands a little bit, so be very careful. You're going to get down to the bone, score it all the way to the bone, and pull back. All the way, and pull back. And like I said, I don't like to remove the fat, but my wife, she really doesn't care for the fat too much, so we're going to go ahead and take care of her then. So you're just going to consistently just score and pull, score and pull. There we go, we're getting there. Little by little. Go. And we're about there. There you go. So that's the way that looks. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make the marinade. But first and foremost, you have your rack of lamb here. You're going to grab yourself a nice sheet pan here and go ahead and line it with aluminum foil. It makes your job a lot easier, especially for cleaning. You're just going to crumble that up and throw it away once you're all done. So on the marinade, what we're going to do here is first off we're going to start with 1 teaspoon of thyme. Dump that right in there. 2 teaspoons of rosemary. Ready? Goes out the way. And 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Get that all in there. And I really like Dijon, has a nice little bite to it. If you don't have Dijon, yellow mustard's just fine. I prefer Dijon, has a nice bite. Okay, now we're going to go with 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. Put that right in there. Now we're going to do 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Put that right in, just like that. And 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. Put that right in there. Okay. Get our whisk. Just going to give it a little whisk for a second. Get that all incorporated real nice. Go. You don't want it too pasty, and you don't want it too runny, that's for sure. Okay. Now we're going to finish it off with 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. Just that in real good. Alright, looks great. It's perfect. It smells fantastic. That's just the marinade, hasn't even been cooked yet. So I like to throw on some gloves. I always have gloves handy, especially when I'm handling meats, and marinating meats especially makes my job a lot easier. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead, give the rack of lamb a flip. We're going to go ahead and start on this side first. Okay? Just kind of get in there. Look at that. That's fantastic. All that garlic, all that in there real nice. We want to marinate the bottom real good because we're going to flip it, and once we flip it, that's where it's going to stay. I like to put a little bit of marinade on the bones as well. You can't eat the bones, but if you're anything like me, once it's all done, all this cartilage and whatnot kind of crisps up some And it's pure flavor. It's fantastic. Okay, give this a flip. Go. It's beautiful. Put the marinade on. Get it in the crease. So again, just get that all over the bones. Fantastic. It's good flavor right there. Okay. Just pat that in there. Okay, set your bowl aside. What you're gonna do, take off these gloves. Now we're gonna finish with some cracked pepper on top. As much as you like. I love pepper, it's delicious. Some cracked salt. In this case I'm using pink Himalayan. Really good flavor. You want to finish with the salt because it helps create a nice crust, and that's really what you're looking for. There you go. It's beautiful. Now the last thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and wrap up these bones. Some people don't really care to, it's up to you, but what ends up happening is if you don't wrap them up, the tips of the bone really start to get really burned. Just kind of crisp that on there, just like that. Perfect. That's it. You're good to go. So now we're gonna let this rest for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. You don't want to go any more past that. Obviously, you don't want the temperature to get in the temperature danger zone. It's never a good thing. It's between 40 and 140. You don't want it to get there for too long. Now you want it at room temperature when you throw it in the oven because it'll help cook evenly, and that's really what you're looking for, is a nice even cook. So here in about 1 hour, I'll go ahead and preset the oven to 450. We're going to do that for about 10 minutes, and then from there we'll go down to 300 and finish it off for another 20 minutes and get it into a nice medium rare, which is around 140, 145, and that's really where you're looking for with rack of lamb. If you prefer to cook it even longer, it's completely up to you. I love it medium rare. I think it's perfect just like that. So we're just going to let this sit for a little bit, and we'll see you in just a bit. All right. Okay, so it's 450 degrees. I'm putting it in right now, and we'll check on it in about 10 minutes. Okay, here we go. That is fantastic. Alright, so 450 for 10 minutes. Should look about like that. You're creating a nice crust of herbs and all that delicious marinade. Alright, so I set it to 300. We're going to let it go for another 20 minutes and we'll check the temp. And we should be good to go. Alright. Okay. We just pulled this bad boy out. Looks delicious. Look at the crust on there. Perfect temperature. That's a nice medium. That is perfect. That's where we want to hit, especially with a delicious, expensive piece of cut like this. So we'll let this rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. Let all those juices really absorb back into the meat, and we'll just wait. At the same time, we'll go ahead and prepare the sides, and we should be ready to go. So we'll be slicing here in about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Okay. So here we have the rack of lamb cooked at a beautiful medium, and that's what we want. As you can see here, all the nice beautiful crust that happened with that nice marinade. What we're going to do is just pull this up. Now be careful, always using a blade. You always want to be careful. We're going to slice. Look at that. That is fantastic. And we call these lollipops for obvious reasons. That is beautiful. That is what you're looking for. Beautiful. Some of these may have a little, there it is. Sometimes the bones kind of intertwine a little bit, so you just got to watch yourself a little bit and kind of find that bone. The easiest way to do that is if you look where I'm slicing, there's that bone right there. So you just want to go in between there. Beautiful. Beautiful. That is a great cook temp right there. Laying them out. Look at that. Look at that. You see the fat? It's actually rendered right there, and that fat that's inset inside, it infuses it with flavor, and that's just beautiful. That is what you want. Lay these out. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. Now I'll set the table, and I'll set the sides, and this is going to be an amazing meal. We'll see you in a second. Okay, so we have some rack of lamb here, ready to go. It's time to eat. This is Chef Nico from My House to Yours. I wish you health and happiness.